I'm Beth. I'm Vice President of Business Development for Real Green Systems. We're based in Walled Lake, Michigan, and we serve the green industry. Today, we're kicking off a series called Straight Talk with some of our senior leaders. I get questions every day, Bill, on Facebook Live. Hey, what's new with Tony Buck? A lot of people have never seen Tony Buck. We saw Bill Nunan once, but haven't seen him since. So this, I think, is a great way for us to continue to connect and introduce our leadership team. For those of you who don't know Bill, he's been with us a little over a year. He's a Mainer. I'll let him talk about that. But I think, Bill, you have an unflappable Midwest grit. That's what I call it. It makes you very relatable to our customers in the green industry. And only 2 years of my career have I seen as much action. So I call you the action guy. In 1998, we commenced Scott's Lawn Service with 5 people and grew it to the second largest lawn care company with 158 acquisitions. And aside from that, what you have helped facilitate at Real Green in a little over a year has been nothing short of remarkable. So for those who don't know you, give us a little bio.
Oh, thank you, Beth. And I appreciate the acknowledgement that we're very action oriented. I mean, that's how we need to operate as a team, constantly looking at it through the lens of our customers to get better and better and better and deliver more value. My background, as you mentioned, I did grow up in Maine, in a small town in Maine, and a fishing family. So I was supposed to be a lobsterman, but at some point decided to go to school, went to the University of Maine, and then decided to join the military to pay for school. And I had a choice between the Army and the Navy. The Navy gave me a much better deal, and I became a nuclear trained submarine officer, which was a tremendous experience serving on a ballistic missile submarine during the tail end of the Cold War. And then after that, decided to go back to school. And that's where I actually moved to the Midwest. I spent about 5 years in Michigan, going to Michigan and then Michigan State University. And it was a great experience here. And I love the culture, the team that we have, really, really great Midwestern values that help, sort of fuel the business. And then from there, I fell into software companies, and it's become my passion over time. And over those years in software, vertical software companies that specialize in industries, I did a variety of roles. I got to be the head of product management, the head of customer support, the head of implementation, helping customers adopt software. Also got to work in strategy and do mergers and acquisitions. And also spent a bit of time doing finance. So I got a chance to spend time in each functional role in software companies, which I think is what sort of prepared me and gave me the opportunity to be a CEO. And I've enjoyed my time as a CEO. This is my second CEO assignment in a software company. But I've worked in the airline industry, the automotive industry. I've worked in property management, in the telecommunications space. And I love vertical software companies that focus on a particular industry, and I've enjoyed my time here at Real Green. And I will say, when we think about software companies, vertical software companies are special. It really takes a founder like Joe Cusick that grew up in an industry, really understands what the lawn care landscape green industry needs, the problems they need solved to really build a foundation of great software. And at some point, you need to introduce more and more functional software expertise. And that's the process we're working through right now, all through the lens of what can we do to make Real Green better for our customers. And we've been investing very heavily in a number of initiatives to do that.
We're going to talk about what we've accomplished in the first year. You did something really remarkable that I had never seen done before. Before you agreed to come to Real Green, you attended Solutions. You wanted to know what the customer base was like. You wanted to understand the industry and what our relationship was with our customers. And you also spent 8 weeks non-paid, try before you buy, in Michigan getting to know Real Greeners. Could you tell us about both of those?
Yeah, absolutely. It's ordinary course when I was going through the interview process. It just so happened that it was convenient to meet with the board and spend some time with Joe and Don Brown at the users conference. And it was a great opportunity. I got to go, and actually get a taste of the user conference and see the interaction between Real Green customers and the team, and I was incredibly impressed. The customers really valued the best practices, the training on the solutions that we had, and it was just a really, really tight connection there. What also intrigued me was just the sense of community. It was a big community, and how our various customers got to interact with one another and share best practices. They were very collaborative. So there's just a great, tight industry where people cared about everybody being successful in adopting practices that were going to help them in software and services that were going to help them be successful in the industry. And I'd never experienced that type of customer engagement before. I've been in software companies that are much bigger than Real Green, and some smaller too, but a variety of situations. But we just had a great turnout, pound for pound relative to the size of the company. It just spoke volumes about the culture, the foundation that Joe and the founders have built over time, and how important relationships are in the industry. The second question you asked me is, why did I come into Real Green and do 8 weeks of sort of volunteer time? I think it's important. It's always challenging for a new CEO to step into a business, particularly in a new industry. And I'm very passionate about learning the industry as part of this process. But my number one goal, for those 8 weeks was to get to know the team, and allay any anxiety, convince the team that I was committed to continuing to not only grow Real Green, but grow it based on the success of our customers, which I knew was a really, really important part of the culture at Real Green. So through that 8 weeks process, I got to develop relationships with the team members so that when I officially stepped in the role, it was a much more seamless transition, and we could sort of hit the ground running with some of the key transformational initiatives that we need to execute as a team. But it also is a great opportunity to learn the business, learn more about the industry. And I spent that time, to talk to a couple of customers, but then I accelerated that process right after I officially joined the organization.
You have a diverse background in many vertical softwares. Did you even think green industry software was a thing? And aside from what you just told us, was there anything else that drew you to Real Green?
Oh, absolutely. I knew, coming out of vertical software, which is unique, where you're always specializing, building great capabilities for the industry. And through that time, I've competed with companies like Salesforce and Oracle and SAP that try to break into the industry. But it's people like Joe that really develop the software that's so specific. It makes it difficult for those outside horizontal companies to come in, because we really understand the industry and what they need. So no, it didn't surprise me. I knew there are thousands of vertical software companies in the United States, and was pleased to find Real Green, given the culture, the market position the company had, and the opportunity to continue to grow the business. But there are quite a few things that excited me about this, not only sort of that customer engagement. One of the things that really excited me was the breadth of the product and service portfolio, knowing that Real Green was really, really good at marketing services, whether it be traditional direct mail marketing or digital marketing services, websites, SEO optimization, PPC campaigns, marketing software like our AMA or automated marketing assistant software, and then all the way back to our core solution, SA5 and core mobile live solution to enable, field technicians, and then having the portal, CAW, our customer assisted website, to actually drive the interactions between our customers and their customers. It was a broad, portfolio of products and services. And when you see that breadth, it's exciting because you have lots of opportunities to grow the business, strengthen the portfolio, and really emphasize the value in the integration of bringing those products together, which has been one of the key differentiators for Real Green. But just seeing that breadth was very, very important to me. The other thing that attracted me to Real Green were the private equity partners that invested in Real Green before I joined. Sarent, it's a great firm. And I knew right off when I started working with them that they were going to be highly collaborative and that they were going to support the investment plans that the leadership team and I brought forward to continuously improve Real Green through the lens of customers. And That's very, very important because throughout my career, I've had an opportunity to work with different private equity organizations, and they're not all created equal. They're not all as supportive. But Sarent, being a company that focuses on growth-oriented investments, is very important because you can't grow the business unless you're really making your customers successful. That's how you sell new customers. That's how you retain customers. So, knowing how they operate, what their focus was very important to me. And then I think another key thing that attracted me was just Joe Cusick and the founders and how passionate they were about the business and what they'd set up. And I knew they were going to be great partners to me as I had to come up to speed in the industry, learn about the industry, learn about some of our key, customer relationships, and be very supportive through that process. And Joe, while he's chairman of the board today, continues to sort of be my industry coach. We spend time together each week talking through things, and that's been a very, very helpful relationship as we've come in. But then another thing that the final key point I'd like to emphasize is the challenge of growing a business. Because of our big, wide portfolio of products and services, marketing solutions, core software, payments, it's challenging to manage all that, simplify the portfolio, and grow the business. And one of the big themes in there is really fundamental. We're changing our business model and moving from locally hosted software, hosted by our customers, to centrally hosted software, as a service. It's a big theme in software, but it essentially means that we're driving a lot of integration, and we will be providing a more complete hosted software for our customers. And that's always a challenge to sort of reinvent the company and the way it operates in the core solutions. And that type of challenge is what drives me. And I knew it would be, a fun process to work through. I've been through several of these business model changes historically, but the solutions we're landing on ultimately will be much, much better for our customers. When we host the software, we'll take a lot of complexity out of the system for our customers, and it will allow us to continue to invest and tighten up the integration across the product. So that I'd say those are really the key things. So just a great opportunity overall in an industry. And I'll tell you, going through COVID-19, our customers are really tough. I mean, they are resilient. They just keep going out and fighting every day to go to business. And I'm incredibly happy to be in this industry. I know we're all facing challenges right now, but generally the industry, relative to many others that my friends and former colleagues are in, is doing well. And it was a great decision to join this business.
You mentioned the breadth of our product. And when I describe Real Green to my friends, I say, well, it's a business in a box. And I've been able to watch many of my former colleagues who were on the operations side take our products and just launch an entire business. When Joe Cusick used to come visit us at Scott's, the senior leadership team would say, what is the software guy selling now? They didn't understand it, but we understand it, and it works really, really well. So what else did you learn in the first year you were with us?
Yeah, first year I learned a lot, Beth, and it's the first year for a new CEO is always a challenging process to work through because there's you got to get to know the industry, you got to spend time with customers, you've got to get to know the team and have the team gel and all be pulling in the same direction. But I'll tell you what was most important during my early days at Real Green to sort of help me figure out what we wanted to focus on as a business was spending time with customers. So in the first 3 months after I officially joined, I spent time with many of our key customers through that process to understand what they thought was important, what they valued in Real Green, and what they would like to see improved about Real Green. So out of those conversations, and I tried to make the rounds, as quickly as I could to really understand where we need to focus to do an even better job for our customers, came a whole bunch of themes, big things that we need to work on. And they largely, bucket into sort of 3 core categories, which was making the products better and accelerating innovation, The next key category was performance and sort of stability of our software. And the final big category was the category of support. They wanted and expected even better customer support. We've always been very customer centric and the team is passionate about it, but we haven't deployed the right best practices to really follow through with that promise to our customers. So that was, the third big category of things that we needed to work on, coming out of those meetings. But mechanically, what I did is, I took those findings, put it all together in a big plan, went to my first board meeting in August of last year, and then took the board through, the game plan and really charted the course for a significant amount of investment in the business, over the first 24 to 36 months of me being here. And we're always going to improve, but that learning from the customers was key to bring it all to life and what we're going to need to do to support the growth plans that we all have for Real Green.
I've admired the way you have identified functional leaders, and that was a new phrase to me, and getting the right people in the right places very early on. Also really appreciate that next level of management that's prepared to serve our customers. Where are we at in that process?
Oh, this is absolutely key to getting the flywheel going to accelerate on every point, whether it be talking about innovation, whether it be talking about improving our customer engagement and support. It all starts with getting the right team in place. And that first year is so critical to really put the platform in place. And what's magical in vertical software companies is that are at this stage where we are. And again, we have a great market position. We have a great base of loyal, supportive customers. But to continue to grow the business and meet our customer needs, you got to get the right mix of functional expertise, as you mentioned, and industry expertise, people that really know the lawn care industry like you. You've grown up in the industry, you've played a number of important roles in the industry. So where we needed to sort of strengthen our functional expertise was in key areas like product management, which is something we didn't have before. Think of product management as the folks that really go, look at our competitors, they talk to customers, they do market analysis, and they bring all that information together and say, okay, here's our roadmap. These are the things that are most important to our customers that are going to help them be successful. These are the things that are going to improve routing optimization so they can optimize their labor expense and efficiency. These are the tools that are going to help optimize fertilizer and chemical utilization and track that and report. These are the tools that are going to help our customers drive higher levels of retention with their customers, which I know is a constant theme in the industry. So product management was bringing all that together in a roadmap. And when you have that roadmap down, you can use that to communicate with customers and tell them what's coming. And you can deliver, on our commitments, with precision because you've got a plan. We're all operating against a constant plan. So I hired a woman named Caitlin Pomeroy, who came into the organization, has been leading and developing our product management team and disciplines to support that process. Another area of functional expertise, we hired Karen Maloney, deep software experience, has worked with a number of software companies to focus on customer success. And when we say customer success, we're talking about onboarding, training, and also technical support for our customers. And she is in the process of implementing a number of best practices and realigning her team to support that so we can be far more responsive and knowledgeable for our customers, ultimately getting to sort of a very quick, single action resolution for any issues that come up, and helping new customers adopt the software more seamlessly in the products that we have. So Karen Maloney joined us to help lead that function. I also introduced a new CFO, Dale Ebling, into the organization. And while he has a job like most, heads of finance to make sure that we're very disciplined in how we operate the business, it's also important that we're tracking metrics and key performance indicators that are important to our customers. So he's been instrumental in helping us be more data-driven so that we can measure, how we're doing for our customers. The overarching measurement that we track religiously here is Net Promoter Score, but there are many, many sort of key metrics that feed into that, like on-time performance in delivering our print direct mail campaigns. It's very important they hit at the right time, given the seasonal nature of our businesses. There's a 2-week window. I need my mail to go out right then, because I'm in heavy selling season and I want to get the season kicked off well. It's so historically we've had some challenges, in hitting those timelines, even though what we do is very valuable and the campaigns delivered great results. They'll be even better if we can tighten up the delivery time frame. So on-time performance is an example of a KPI. We're tracking hundreds of these now, all with the objective of getting better and better and better to support our customers. And, we can talk later about sort of how we take that KPI and turn it into actions, but it illustrates the importance of that functional competency in finance and accounting. Another key sort of functional focus is we promoted Tony Buck to be our head of engineering. And this really goes at the heart of building high quality products. Historically, we were operating in more silos, so we had individual products that were developed, and then the integration, while valuable, was secondary to developing the product. At this point, the integration is the most important thing. That's what really drives the value for a Real Green customer, is how the products operate together. So bringing all the engineering teams together under Tony Buck has been a key enabler of doing that. And then, another example of a function is having you, for instance, Beth, step in to take over business development. We have a new focus on being far more open as a platform, open to integrating with third parties, whether it be, a company like LawnBot, which we've announced is a key partnership of Real Green to help our customers sell more efficiently, or things like soil testing integration or accounting system integration like QuickBooks. These are things that we're being far more open to now and actually going after and engaging in. And that's why having a head of business development that has deep industry network contacts and can also work with partners that play in the green industry ecosystem so we can build those integrations is very, very important to us. So just, and most members of the existing leadership team have pivoted into new roles. I think Linda, our head of marketing, is the only member of the team that's in her traditional role, even though, her focus is expanding and focused much more on customer communications now as well, and supporting my weekly email and other activities that will help drive more and more engagement. So that functional team is key. But that interaction with the industry experts is what really makes industry software companies, vertical software companies, successful.
I'm loving the process of identifying where we can fill needs for our customers with APIs. In your previous experience, how do you decide, is this something we should build or partner?
That's a great question, because historically, Real Green, like many vertical software companies, you want to do everything. You want to solve all the market, opportunities and problems that customers have, but you can only accomplish so much as a business. And when you try to do everything, inevitably you can't do everything well. And that was a big point of feedback that I got from customers. You've got great stuff, but many of our products, are not complete. We need to continue to build them out, and that's why focus is so important. And the way we make this decision, to answer your question, is we decide what is our core business, and then we decide what's non-core, because we have to focus on getting the core right. And for us, our core business is marketing services. Those things that I mentioned earlier, great direct mail campaigns. It is great digital marketing services, great websites, great SEO optimization, great PPC campaign activity to drive a very efficient and low cost of customer acquisition for our customers, or AMA marketing software. So marketing services, key focal point, that's core. Core software, SA5, the engine that, and combined with Mobile Live, the engine that enables our green industry, field service companies to operate efficiently. And then payments is another core element of our business. We built a payment facilitator. So once we define that core, we look at every opportunity we have to expand as to whether or not we should build, buy, or partner. And increasingly, we will be partnering to enable those things and integrations. But one of the things in the first year is when you start this process, it's a very interesting pivot for the company, because you have to put the technology infrastructure in place or capabilities in place to do it. And that's developing an open API library, because if you want to do that, you want to architect it right with scale, security. You can't let your APIs, for instance, if you do this stuff wrong and build bad integrations, one-offs, it can actually drag down the performance of your core software. So we have a whole theme around developing that API library that will enable partnerships, but it will also be a product that we can sell to our customers who want to integrate with other solutions that they want to work with, like a BI and analytics tool. So that's been a big focal point, and it takes time to get that infrastructure in place, but we've been making good progress. We've actually, completed sort of the first API in the library, and we're increasingly investing in developing that capability as a business to be more open as a platform, so that we can allow our customers to tap into the big ecosystem, not just Real Green.
You personally spent a lot of time on the road in the first year, out speaking with our customers, and you're continuing to do so virtually. But I know it was important to you to learn firsthand what those pain points and opportunities were. What are your current priorities for Real Green now?
Well, it really goes back to that plan I told you I shared with the board, and those three, broad, buckets of feedback that we got from customers on where we can be even better. So we've got, a lot of work on our products themselves, and I can talk a little bit at a high level about that. The second bucket is the performance and stability of our software. And the third bucket is customer success and how we support our customers. So we've got lots of very detailed plans that we're executing. And one of the interesting things, though, before we might jump into some of those topics on this video and the next one, it's the seasonal nature of this business. The first time I've seen this level of seasonality in any business that I've been part of. And our customers in the northern climates certainly experience this the most. We have customers all over the country and customers in the UK. But what it does is during our peak season, which is directly opposite from our customers' peak season, is our team is very highly utilized. And when they're so utilized supporting customers and operating, it slows down our pace of transformation as a business. So the big cadence that we're operating on is during our peak operating season, we put together the plans, and as soon as the business slows down, we really focus very heavily on transformation work that we need to work on. And we're in that sort of transformation season right now. You're really trying to work on those three big buckets that I talked about, based directly on the feedback that we got from customers. And if I were to hit, the product theme, we talked about APIs. We've talked about building the roadmap, developing more integration points. But one of the big product themes is to just finish up the work on SA5 to ensure a seamless migration from our SA4 customers to SA5. It's very important as a business that we get to one platform. It's better for our customers because you're supporting one platform, you're investing in one platform, excuse me, that allows us to help accelerate our innovation. And we want to, finish that. And that was one of the gaps and points of feedback I got when I first came on board, is that we still had work to do, even though the product had been launched a couple of years early. And it's not uncommon for software companies to launch their SaaS, software as a service solution, early, but we launched it a little bit too early, and we've been really focused on closing those gaps. And we're in great shape now. We've got just a couple things that are really important that we need to work through, and they'll be done in the next couple of months. So it's been a very disciplined focus. And what's great about that is as you work through that process, then all that capacity, engineering capacity, we can start to focus on innovation and evolving the products moving forward. And if I were to hit the second bucket, stability and performance of our software, we're very focused on moving our hosted or SaaS solutions to a private cloud commercial data center and away from our local facility here in the office. It's not uncommon for companies to host their own software when they're getting started. But it is best practice to be in a commercial data center or in the public cloud. And will it continue to evolve towards the public cloud? But our focus right now over the next couple of months is to get our hosted solutions into a commercial data center. Very big project, very important project that will pay dividends in terms of the performance of our software. And then I mentioned the third big bucket is customer success, and we've got a lot of stuff going on in there. So I'll take a break and let you ask your next question, because I can keep talking about it. I'm so excited about all the stuff we have going on and the acceleration right now in our slower season that we have.
It's been very exciting to watch. All of the people you mentioned that have joined the team will be featured on Straight Talk. Okay. I refer to Caitlin Pomeroy as the orchestra director, because I don't think I really understood until she came on board how interconnected. It's great that all of our products are tightly integrated, but it also adds a level of complexity as we add innovation. And so she's doing a terrific job at that. Tony Buck is going to be on here talking more about our move to the cloud. Very early on in your tenure, you said, why do we host our own data? So we're moving forward with that. One of the areas I'm most excited about is the addition of Karen Maloney. As a customer for 16 years, I was a raving fan of Real Green. And when I got to Real Green, I knew that I was working alongside some of the most passionate folks serving green industry software, yet somehow we were missing out on serving the customers well. And I think you've been able to identify not just we were missing the right person to lead that or take us to the next level, but it wasn't just a person, it was new process as well.
Yeah, absolutely. It's introducing proven software best practices in all the areas that I mentioned earlier that will ultimately improve our customer experience. Now, we have great products, passionate people. We help our customers grow. We help them operate efficiently. We help them manage their cash flow through payments. But once we have implemented a number of these best practices, our support level is going to go up, performance is going to go up, quality is going to go up, pace of innovation is going to go up. And that's sort of where we are is we've been through a heavy sort of investment realignment period, and we're starting to accelerate with all of those initiatives right now.
Do you know when the last time was you and I spent time together?
In person.
In person.
Oh my goodness, we used to do it every week for our weekly meetings and then some, Beth. And, I've completely lost track of time. It has to be at least.
It was February 23rd-ish. We were in Orlando at the Technology Summit, which was much fun, Lawn and Landscape. And you got to meet some of our industry peers. But it's been very odd not being out and about. I traveled 48 weeks last year and loved every bit of it. And as you have learned, our customers are networkers. We love to hang out in the pub and drink root beer. And it's just been a new world. I guess I'd like to thank you for the level of connectivity we've had at Real Green. I feel like I know more about the organization. We have daily leadership stand-ups. Today we had our town hall with the entire organization, which we do every week. But our customers are asking me, what can we expect about solutions? Will we get to see you guys? What do we have planned?
Yeah, look, Beth, this has been one of the toughest decisions for the leadership team. We know how important this conference is, not just as an opportunity to share best practices, but as I mentioned early on in our conversation, the social, the networking aspects of bringing all of these, customers and some of our industry colleagues together and just to get together and share time and share best practices. It's, but we made the very difficult decision to pivot to a virtual event this year, which was very difficult, but we held off as long as we possibly could, watching the data, trying to anticipate what was happening, but we had to make the call because we need the lead time to set up an effective virtual event that we'll do. And the other aspect of this, one of the other areas of feedback I got from customers was on the user conference itself, not the social aspect or the networking aspect, but the content and the approach. And people found a great deal of value in the users conference, but they gave us a lot of suggestions for how we can strengthen the curriculum to become more what I call persona-based, but that just means, ready to support. What does a lawn technician need to know? What does a salesperson need to know? What does someone working in the accounting team need to know about our products? What do larger customers want to know versus some of our mid-sized customers versus some of our smaller high-growth customers? They all have unique needs. So how do we restructure the content in a way that meets the specific needs of those personas, as I call them? So that's always been in the works. But then to layer on top of that the notion of pivoting to virtual, we had to make the call. And I know it's incredibly frustrating. We'd all rather be getting together in person, which we will do in 2022 in Florida. We have a great venue lined up there, so super excited to get the team together in Florida. But unfortunately, this year we're going to go virtual. And one of the silver linings here though is that it will enable us to lower the effective price point for the conference and hopefully get way more members of the Real Green community in the conference so they can participate in the event and share, even though it's not the same as an in-person environment. We're gonna make the best of it and make it a platform to really deliver more value to our customers going forward. So tough decision, but that's where we landed through the process. And just recently, we know what's happened with GIE and Pest World and other big, industry events. It's just unfortunate where we are today, and it's the right thing to do in consideration of health and safety for our customers and for the Real Green employees that are going to participate.
Yeah, there's nothing to suggest that January is going to be any different. It was the right decision for Real Greeners, the right decision for our customers, and I am most excited. Work was already underway, as you mentioned, to restructure some of the content, but I think we're going to have a broader reach this year because you won't have to travel. And boy, in January 2022, we will celebrate in Orlando. That's a fact.
Yes, we will. I'm looking forward to that event. Absolutely.
What are you doing to keep busy there in Michigan? You've moved to Michigan. And by the way, the Real Green family is a house divided. We've got Michigan State and Michigan. And I like the way you alternate back and forth. No one really knows which side you're on, although one day we will find it out. But what are you doing up there to stay busy during COVID?
Well, it's a challenge, being on Zoom meetings. We're all suffering from COVID fatigue through this process. We'd all rather be, sleeve to sleeve in the office working, as a team, but we're making the best of it. And the team's done a great job of trying to maintain the team connectivity while we're working from home. We've got a number of cultural initiatives that help support the way we're operating right now and take care of the team. I know it's tough. It's tough for, parents with kids that, or it's uncertain what the schools are going to look like. It's just, there's a lot of uncertainty right now, but we have been very effective at working from home. So I spend what I do for fun. I work a great deal. I enjoy, this is so much fun, what we have going on here at Real Green, the transformation work that we've got. But for hobbies, one of my biggest hobbies is when I purchased this house, I have about a quarter of an acre of trees in the front of the home that were just a mess. So I get to go out there, every once in a while and cut a tree down or two trees. And I've been selectively chipping away at this piece of land. And so far I've taken down probably 50 trees, and I have a few more, but it's starting to look like a park in this area. It's beautiful woods here in Michigan. I love it. So running the chainsaw has always been one of my passions because you really have to focus on what you're doing and not think about work, because if you don't, you might cut your leg off. So that's a real passion of mine. The other thing is I have a hobby. I collect antique guns, and have been doing this my whole life, and I like to work on them and restore them. And that's another thing where I get to work with my hands down in my shop, and I've had a little bit more time to do that than normal, given our abbreviated commutes that we have right now. So that's been, excuse me, one of the things to help keep me busy, given our current challenges we've got.
Didn't we pay someone a lot of money to take down trees for our parking lot? You could have done that.
I could have. I've been running the saw since I was 13 in Maine, cutting firewood and pulpwood and stuff like that. But I'll tell you, those were a lot of trees. I think I'd rather focus on the task and at Real Green than
It just seems like a great stress reliever. Well, we're going to get together again. I've had lots of questions. What's Bill's take on culture and customer experience and a deeper dive into product? So we will be talking again very soon. I really appreciate you spending time with me today.
Yeah, thank you, Beth. And I appreciate you, taking the leadership team through these interviews. It is critical that we communicate. And I want to communicate more and more and more with our customers. This whole COVID thing has sort of thrown a wrench. I would have otherwise already made another round of physical visits. So we've got to make do with the virtual communication that we have. And the work that you've done with the Impact Series was very important to us as well. Just having the opportunity to share best practices as we work through COVID-19, the opportunity to bring legends from the industry to come in and speak that have lived through many different challenges in the past, and bring some context to what we're going through right now, and the opportunity to talk about our products and services and how we can help has been very important. So I appreciate you, putting all of these series together, and it'll be a big piece. And we'll talk a little bit more, I think, in the next video about some of the things we're doing in customer success and RGS Academy. We'll leave it there, but this is all important content that we'll be using to support our customers moving forward. So thanks, and look forward to our next discussion.
It's been a lot of fun. We'll see you next time, Bill. Thank you.
Thank you, Beth.